Hi folks, and welcome to part 3 of our XV535 video series. It's a fairly nice 45-degree morning here in Czech Republic, and we will take a look at this bike without further ado. So, let's go. The first thing I will do with this bike is I will do a little bit of a recap. For those of you who are watching this video and didn't watch the previous two parts with the second XV535, this bike came with that first bike in the bundle, and supposedly it shouldn't run, and I'm hoping that judging by this wiring being all uncovered from its original tape and so on, I'm hoping that this bike will have some electrical issue, but it may be seized. It was sitting outside in the elements. In the previous video I showed you how the the main relay was full of water. You can see rust specks all over here. That's water mixed with rust, and the water evaporated and the rust remained. So we will tear the electrical system of this bike. We will try to first we will try to spin over the engine, and the issue here might be, I don't know what this bike needs for start, but this one power wire coming out of the alternator here is is plugged directly to the rectifier, so I will have to chop that off, and if the engine will spin over, we will have decent compression, and we will reconnect the electric system from the other bike. We will turn into the carburetors here. I will show you the ultrasonic cleaner, but that is for the case that this bike will spin over. So I will start on disassembling this shift lever, because as you can see it's bent and it's blocking our access to the plug for the crankshaft here. So I will turn you off, zap this bolt out, take this off, and I will see you when we will have a screwdriver and we will try to pop this up. Okay, with that piece of bent metal out of the way, I will try to crack loose this crankshaft cap. I will find a happy place for you, and we will try to crack it loose. Also, what I forgot to mention in the previous video was that both of these bikes didn't have any rat nest inside them. Maybe we will find one inside the airbox here, but they smell really bad with mouse poo and mouse urine, so that's unpleasant smell. I will find a happy place for you on the ground here and try my best. Okay, let's see. Yes, okay. So underneath this cover you can see only black, but there is a bolt that's going straight to the crankshaft. I will take a ratchet and I will try to spin this engine over. I will undo the spark plugs if there is any water inside the motor, and so it can be ejected through the spark plug hose. So let me grab my ratchet, undo the spark plugs and try to spin it over. I unscrewed the spark plugs from the engine, and guys, the chance of this motor being salvageable is in my mind just raised like 200%, because these spark plugs are brand new and they never ran inside an engine. They are a little bit dirty, but that's from the installing or maybe me extracting them. The spark can be what this engine is missing, so I will set you down on the ground again and wish me luck. I will try to spin it over. Okay, I've got a ratchet with 14 millimeter, and here we go. So far so good. So far so good. I don't hear any strange noises. I don't feel any resistance or drag on the cylinders. Maybe we have a really ignition problem. That would be sweet if we will have two good running engines, but do not go ahead ourselves. I will turn you off. I will rip all this messy wiring out, and I will install the wiring from that previous bike we did that videos before this, and I guess then it's just a matter of checking the spark, and if we will have spark, then we will proceed with the carburetors, and if the spark will not appear, we will tear this cover off and switch over the ignitions, the ignition coils, and try it, and hopefully we'll be able to accomplish something here. So on that, we will see you when this bike has a new electricity. So all the electrical stuff is out of the motorcycle. Here on the ground, as you can see, we have a lot of wires, and I took the rod and fuel hoses off too, and the unoriginal switches from the handlebars. And unfortunately, I will have to switch these covers around, because this plug right here is different on this machine than on that machine, and without a wiring diagram I don't know which of these plugs are which, and I cannot cross wire them to the other engine. So on this engine it will not be as hard, because I will just flip it on its side, but on that engine I will have to drain the oil, which is good, I guess, because we can check the conditions of oil. Also the ground strap, the ground wire was rigged up, so we have to change that. The starter motor, you cannot see, hold on, I will get light. The starter motor right here is missing its wire, so we have to also swap that out, and then I guess we're ready to try this machine. I really don't look for switching those covers because you ruin your seals, but the man's gonna do what the man's gonna do. Let's do it. Let's rob this engine of its goodies. So I've got the coils out, and I thought under this cover there will be some wiring. I thought that the neutral switch, which is right here, will be under this, and I found out the hard way that there is an oil strainer. so that's really unfortunate. I took this off. This gasket was petrified and it remained on the engine, so we will have some leaks. But do not worry about that at this moment. Let's drain the oil out of this engine and swap those parts over. As usual, I made a mess. While that's draining, I will start on putting the electricity back together. I will install the starter wire, the ground wire, and I will start on installing the electricity, the main harness, the ignition coils, the ignition unit, and so on. And I probably will turn back on when this is all done, I guess. We'll see. I've got the electricity installed, at least I think. I have the ignition switch, I have the rectifier, starter relay, a wire for the starter itself, a ground wire. We have this thermal or resistor thing, main relay, the computer, the neutral light we will have, and this right switch on the handlebars, and also the ignition coils, of course. And on this other side, I've installed the pan under. One thing that crossed my mind, we might have a problem with this because this bike uses two different Hall sensors to pick the rotation of crankshaft. So we might have end up doing is switching over this whole flywheel, and that will solve our problem with the incompatibility of those two systems. We'll see when we tear this off. I will turn you off for that. You saw that on the other motor, and I will tune back when this cover is off. Well guys, exacto mundo. We have the situation I thought we will have, and the situation is this bike have only one Hall sensor on the crankshaft. So what I will have to do is I'm gonna have to pull this flywheel off and swap them with the other motor and hope for the best. The main issue here is with the flywheel puller, if I had one like that, or if I doesn't have one that's compatible with the engine. So I will have to run again to my little shop and try to acquire one. So I will be back at the moment. Well guys, I was hoping to put this universal puller from the Suzuki shop that went out of the business to use, but this flywheel was the most easiest flywheel I ever extracted, because I was tightening these bolts just with my hand and not the center bolt, and this thing just came loose. The other one, of course, will not be as easy, but from what I can see, can you see this? Can you see this? The bolts are ripped off the flywheel clutch. So I think we find our problem with this machine. The flywheel ripped off the flywheel clutch, and somebody didn't go through the basics and didn't see this problem. So again, it's just a problem of bad mechanics. So I will try to extract the other one. That will not be as easy as this one. Try to swap them over, and we will go from there. Is it just luck, which I don't have any in my life? Or are those machines messed up with before me? Or is this thing just awesome? I cannot believe this. Again, I was tightening it by hand and not even touching the center bolt, and this thing came just came. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. I apologize for my voice, but I always struggled with these things. I had to buy various pullers. So let me show you. I bought this puller that should be universal. That doesn't work. I had this machinist made me this puller that's working, but that's working only on one motorcycle. And then I bought this with all these other parts from that. I'm sorry, not parts, but all these other tools from that Suzuki shop, and this thing works awesome. So, but my camera is dying, so I will have to go recharge my camera, get me some lunch, and we will continue after the lunch. Hi guys, here I am back after the lunch. Everything should be connected, the battery and all that stuff. I swap out the rotor and the flywheel from that other bike. Here you can see the detail of those snapped bolts of that flywheel clutch, and maybe it's just the matter of turning on the key. I will grab a spark plug and we will turn the key and see if this machine will have spark.